A billion-dollar mining company laughed at a boy's warning, then disaster struck when 16-year-old Daniel stood in front of the executives of a billion-dollar mining company. They couldn't stop laughing. To them, he was just a skinny farm boy wearing muddy boots. To Daniel, the mountain behind his family's farm wasn't just land, it was alive. And he had only one warning: don't blast the eastern ridge. They laughed. Before we continue, if you enjoy inspiring stories about courage, justice, and ordinary people overcoming impossible odds, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, and subscribe for more powerful stories every week. Now, let's continue. Daniel had grown up on a small farm beside the mountain. His late grandfather had taught him every spring, every stream, and every crack in the rocky hills. "The mountain speaks," his grandfather used to say. "If you learn to listen, it will protect you." Most people dismissed those words as old folklore. Daniel never did. He had seen the signs with his own eyes. Everything changed when a massive mining corporation arrived. They purchased thousands of acres surrounding the valley. Huge bulldozers replaced birdsong. Explosions echoed through the hills every afternoon. The company promised jobs, wealth, and progress. Most of the town celebrated. Daniel worried. He noticed fresh cracks spreading across the eastern ridge after every blast. Something wasn't right. One afternoon, Daniel gathered enough courage to visit the company's site office. He showed engineers sketches of the cracks and explained how underground water flowed beneath the ridge. "If you blast there," he pleaded, "the entire slope could collapse." The chief engineer barely glanced at the drawings. "We trust science," he said with a smirk. "Not children's stories." The room erupted with laughter. Daniel walked away heartbroken. 3 weeks later, the company scheduled its largest explosion yet. The blast shook windows across the valley. Then, everything went silent. A deep rumble rolled beneath the earth. The eastern ridge gave way. Millions of tons of rock crashed into the mining pit. Massive equipment disappeared beneath dust and stone. Roads vanished. Power lines snapped. The operation came to a standstill. Emergency crews worked day and night. Thankfully, workers had been evacuated moments before the collapse because unusual vibrations had triggered an alarm. Investigators searched for answers. Local residents began talking about the boy who had warned everyone. Daniel's drawings matched the exact location of the landslide. Engineers couldn't ignore it anymore. The company invited Daniel back. This time, no one laughed. Senior geologists listened carefully as he explained decades of natural water movement, seasonal erosion, and hidden weaknesses his grandfather had taught him to recognize. Their expensive computers had missed what generations of careful observation had revealed. The executives sat in complete silence. Instead of continuing reckless blasting, the company redesigned the entire project. Daniel received a scholarship to study geology and environmental engineering. Years later, he returned not as the frightened farm boy they mocked, but as one of the country's most respected environmental consultants. His first rule on every project was simple: listen to the people who know the land. The mining company lost millions of dollars because they ignored a warning that cost nothing to hear. Daniel proved that wisdom isn't measured by age, expensive suits, or billion-dollar machines. Sometimes the greatest knowledge comes from those who quietly observe, care deeply, and refuse to stop telling the truth. If this story inspired you, remember to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes that every voice deserves to be heard. Because sometimes, the smallest warning can prevent the biggest disaster.